You are watching Eagle News International. I'm Arnia Aquino reporting from the EBC studio in Vancouver, British Columbia. Here are today's top stories. Syrian military video shows government forces advancing on eastern Homs. Thousands protest in Austria against potential face field ban law. Father of Louvre attacker says son is not a terrorist. Mexico's Colima volcano erupts powerfully. Iraqi family hopes second attempt to emigrate to the U.S. succeeds. Now for the story. Fighting between Syrian forces backed by Russia and Islamic State has intensified in recent weeks, with the group on the offensive in several areas of the western desert of Palmyra. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said on Friday that Syrian regime forces had managed to achieve a new advance by controlling the areas of Hataniya and Marhatan and advancing towards Jahar Junction. Violent clashes against Islamic State accompanied by heavy shelling by the Syrian army forces on site in areas controlled by the IS caused casualties and injuries in the ranks of both parties, monitoring group reported. Islamic State controls vast areas of eastern Syria, including most of Deir al-Zor province and its de facto Syrian capital of Raqqa. It seized the historic city of Palmyra, some 200 kilometers from Damascus, last December for the second time in the 6-year Syrian conflict, driving out government forces which, with Russian military support, had recaptured it in March. Islamic State, which declared its self-styled caliphate across areas of northern Iraq and eastern Syria as it swept through the region in 2014, is being beaten in its Iraqi stronghold of Mosul. Around 3,000 people joined a protest march in Vienna against the Austrian government's proposal to ban the wearing of full-face veils in public. The measure, proposed by the ruling coalition government of Social Democrats and Conservatives, is part of a package of laws designed in response to the rising popularity of the anti-immigration rhetoric of the far-right Freedom Party. These also include proposals to expand the network of cameras monitoring public spaces and a compulsory integration year for asylum seekers in Austria, requiring them to learn German and participate in public works. But the protests organized by the group Muslim Youth Austria focus on the proposed ban on full face coverings like niqabs and burqas, similar to the bans already introduced by France and Belgium. The measure is seen as symbolic, as estimates on the number of women actually wearing full face veils in Austria range from only 50 to 150. According to the new law, they could face fines of 150 euros for wearing them in public. The Alpine country of 8.7 million was one of the stops on the way to Germany for many fleeing war and poverty in the Middle East at the beginning of the refugee crisis in 2015. That year, the country received 90,000 requests for asylum, mostly by incoming Syrians, Afghans, and Iraqis. The move towards the ban comes as the anti-immigration far-right Freedom Party is leading the polls, and after its candidate narrowly lost the presidential election in December. The father of the machete-wielding man who was shot by a guard as he tried to enter Paris's Louvre Museum said that his son was not an Islamist and the French were only accusing him of terrorism to excuse the brutality used to stop him. Abdullah Reda al-Hamami, an Egyptian, was shot several times after attacking soldiers outside the museum, crying Allahu Akbar, in what President François Hollande called a terrorist attack. Al-Hamami was initially feared to be close to death, but doctors at the hospital where he is being treated no longer consider his life in danger, the Paris prosecutor's office had said. Paint spray cans, but no explosives, were found in his backpack. Back in Egypt, al-Hamami's father, Rida al-Rifai, said he had learned of his son's case from Facebook and was still not aware of his fate.
لكن عشان يقعدوا يجوا بقى في الآخر يقول لك ده متطرف والكلام الفاضي ده ايه اللي طرفه؟ راجل رايح ماشي لابس بنطلون جينز كوتشي وفانيلا مكتوب عليها ايطاليا
يروح يعمل عملية إرهابية وهو ماسك مطوة. ممكن لو معاه قنبلة، لو معاه مسدس، بندقية، أصدق ماشي. لكن مش عارف. احنا عايزين الحقيقة بس عشان احنا نرتاح برضه.
Al-Rafai said his son worked in Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates and was on a business trip to Paris for a week. French authorities say Al-Hamami arrived in France after obtaining a tourist visa in Dubai. Mexico's Colima volcano roared back to life during an afternoon eruption in which sent a column of ash and smoke 4,000 meters above its crater. The explosion could be seen from several kilometers away and sent ash raining down on the surrounding areas in the states of Colima and Jalisco. Authorities said there was no need for area residents to evacuate despite the powerful eruption. The 3,800-meter volcano had increased in activity since October, generating eruptive columns of heights ranging from 1,000 meters to 4,000 meters in height, sometimes accompanied by the release of incandescent fragments and pyroclastic flows. Since January 3rd, the magnitude of the explosions had been increasing. The volcano is located in western Mexico between the states of Colima and Jalisco and is one of the country's most active. According to website volcanodiscovery.com, increased activity at the volcano is due to the growth of a new lava dome. The Colima volcano, also known as the Fire Volcano, is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Mexico has more than 3,000 volcanoes, but only 14 are considered active. The Sharaf family said goodbye to their loved ones in the hopes of their second attempt in 1 week to immigrate to the U.S. would succeed. The family of 4 was turned back from Cairo Airport en route to the U.S. last Saturday after President Donald Trump's ban on immigrants from 7 countries with majority Muslim populations. Fuad Sharaf, a former USAID employee in Iraq, said he was shocked at President Trump's decision, but he hopes the new court ruling freezing the ban will allow him enough of a window to reach the U.S. with his family. His wife, Arazu Ibrahim, said she was hopeful a bright future awaits her 3 children aged 17, 14, and 10 years old who are desperate to get back to school. As for Fuad, he said the weeks since they were turned back proved to be a life lesson that he is keen to pass on to his children. A federal judge in Seattle temporarily blocked Trump's order, allowing travel to resume. The Justice Department is expected to quickly argue in court to reverse that decision. In the meantime, people with valid visas were trying to book flights. The court ruling was the first move in what could be months of legal challenges to Trump's push to clamp down on immigration. His order set off chaos at airports across the United States last week, where travelers were stranded and thousands of people gathered to protest. On to our national news. The body of Canadian filmmaker found off Florida coast. Bodies of 2 Algerian victims of Quebec mosque shooting flown home. Swiss airplane makes unscheduled landing at tiny airport in Canada. Canada's Trudeau tears up at funeral for slain mosque victims. The body of Canadian documentary filmmaker and conservationist Rob Stewart was reportedly found off the Florida coast on Friday, days after he disappeared during a dive while making a film about sharks. Stewart, 37, vanished on Tuesday afternoon during a dive with 3 of his crew's members at the Alligator Reef Coral Reef, some 4 nautical miles off the islands of Isla Madura. The Key Largo Fire Department volunteer dive team discovered the body and identified it as Stewart's, although the coroner's office will officially confirm the identity. Earlier in the evening, the U.S. Coast Guard announced that it had suspended the search for Stewart. Officials made no comment as to the reason for Stewart's death. After surfacing from his dive, he went underwater again before the crew's boat was able to pick him up. The other 3 divers emerged safely. A biologist and underwater photographer, Stewart was filming a sequel to his best-known 2006 documentary, Shark Water, about shark hunting and its impact on the marine ecosystem. The film won the Directors Guild of Canada Award and a dozen other the following year. The filmmaker was capturing the personality in shark faces that people that spend their lives with sharks truly understand. The accompanying picture shows a diver from behind, presumably Stewart, holding a camera on his shoulder. Stewart's team is fundraising and looking for volunteers via Stewart's Twitter account to continue the search. The bodies of the 2 Algerian victims in the Quebec mosque shooting were repatriated to Algeria. The repatriation was decided by the families of the victims, Abdelkrim Hassan and Khalid Belkacemi, in coordination with the Algerian Embassy in Ottawa and the Consul General in Montreal, Canada. The Foreign Ministry spokesperson underlined that all necessary measures had been taken by the Algerian consular services for the victims' repatriation and burials. The victims' wives and some family members were at the airport for the arrival of the bodies before taking them to the cemetery for burial. Alexandra Bizinet, 27, was charged in court on Monday, January 30th, with 6 counts of premeditated murder and 5 counts of attempted murder with a restricted weapon after Sunday, January 29th's massacre at the Centre Culturel Islamique de Quebec. A Swiss airplane made a precautionary landing at Iqaluit Airport in Canada. The aircraft departed from Zurich, Switzerland, and was heading to Los Angeles, US, when the technical difficulties occurred. Swiss reported that the aircraft's left engine automatically shut down, following a malfunction message. The flight crew decided to land at the northern Canadian airport, Iqaluit, in the Nunavut region. Avid plane spotter Brian Tatooine filmed the airplane landing after hearing about the diversion on social media. Iqaluit Airport had only 1 runway and usually receives aircraft holding no more than 15 passengers. The diverted Swiss airplane has 340 seats. The aircraft landed safely and no injuries were reported. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau wiped away tears as he stood beside Quebec Premier Philippe Couillard during funeral service for 3 of the victims of the deadly shooting in Quebec City over the weekend. Alexandra Bizinet is charged in the shooting rampage at the Centre Culturel Islamique de Quebec. He faces 6 charges of premeditated murder and 5 counts of attempted murder with a restricted weapon after Sunday evening's massacre. Trudeau called the mosque shooting a terrorist attack on Muslims. Coming up, Jeanette Duazo on the 22nd Annual Dragon Boat Festival. Lou Aquino and Archie Rose Natividad featuring the 2017 Vancouver Dino Festival. All of these when we come back. Welcome back. You are still watching Eagle News International. I'm Arnie Aquino reporting from the EBC studio in Vancouver, British Columbia. Now in other news. Here's Jeanette Duazo on the 22nd Annual Dragon Boat Festival.
I'm here right now at the Victoria Inner Harbor for the 22nd Annual Victoria Dragon Boat Festival. This festival has 80 teams participating this year. Most of them are fundraising for Breast Cancer Society. So we'll take you for a tour, and let's go and watch the boat show.
This is my marker for being a presenting sponsor of the 22nd Annual Canada Dry Victoria Dragon Boat Festival.
The 22nd Annual Victoria Dragon Boat Festival in the inner harbor of the city of Victoria. 80 teams will be competing this year. The healthy and successful history of the festival and its committed volunteers provides a strong foundation upon which to build. The Victoria Dragon Boat Festival has provided exciting race opportunities for more than 20 years, along with the invaluable support of its partners in the
So
community.
just before the race begins, let's tell you a little bit about some of these teams. The Unsinkable Survivor Association. This team is comprised of cancer survivors and supports survivors.
As part of the festival, paddlers are also raising money for the BC Cancer Foundation. Recently, renovations finished on a multi-million-dollar immunotherapy lab, which researchers are gearing up to do clinical trials on patients.
All right, race 18 underway. We're going to go down the grandstands momentarily. You've got the Unsinkables in lane 1, the Blue Aaron in lane 2, the Gorge Pascal in lane 3, and the Northwest Classic for Prince George in lane 4. So glad to have so many people from away out of town. We hope you're enjoying the hospitality here in the city of Victoria. Let's hear it for these teams once again as they come by the grandstand. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're a big crowd today. Let's make some noise. Very tight race here. We got four teams involved, and the Unsinkables followed by Blue Aaron. Look like Blue Aaron, I would say, is leading the pack, but not by much because the Gorgeous Gals are giving it all they got. 3 teams making the move down as they come down the last part of the race to the finish line. Great effort at the end. This is going to be a close finish. Blue Aaron trying to hold them off. Are they going to be able to hold run for it? It's 20 feet.
Oh, they're so close.
Very, very close. 1, 2, and 3. Very, very close.
From the Victoria Inner Harbor, this is Jeanette Waso. I'm 1 with 25.
Thank you, Jeanette. Now here's Lou Aquino and Archie Rose Natividad featuring the 2017 Vancouver Dine Out Festival.
Hi, I'm Archie Rose Natividad. And I'm Lou Aquino from the EBC Western Canada Bureau. We are here at Yaletown featuring the Vancouver Dine Out Food Festival.
So come along with us as we check out this fantastic event.
Tourism Vancouver first launched Dine Out Vancouver Festival in January 2002 as a way to drive businesses to local restaurants during the industry's low season. Since then, the number of participating restaurants has increased as the festival has gained popularity in the city and across North America. So right now I am having the beef tenderloin carpaccio, and it is actually a AAA Alberta beef, sliced thin, drizzled with white Albert truffle infused olive oil. The meat is very tender, and you can really taste the truffle oil. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So hi, I'm Archie. I'm eating the bruschetta Lucchese. On top of the bread here, we have some prosciutto with some gorgonzola cheese and also some delicious fig jam with some pine nuts. So let's take a bite. It's a nice blend of sweet and savory. Love the fig jam. I think that's my favorite part.
So for the main course, we have here I got the lobster and crab ravioli, and it actually has arugula and tiger prawns. So I'm gonna take a bite. It's good.
So for the second course, which is the main entree, what we have here is the risotto alla pescatora. It is arboreal rice simmered with local mussels, manila clams, some calamari, tiger prawns, and a hint of spice. So let's take a bite. There's a really great spicy seafood taste infused into the risotto. Really, really tasty. On a cold day like this, it's perfect to eat.
So for dessert, I got tiramisu. And did you know that tiramisu actually is an Italian word that means cheer me up. So it is actually a popular coffee flavored Italian custard. It's made of lady fingers, dipped in coffee, layered with whipped mixture of eggs, sugar, and mascarpone cheese flavored with cocoa. So I'm gonna try it now. So it's really sweet and it's really good, and you can really taste like the cocoa.
So here we are at the third and last course, which features the dessert. So what I grabbed is just an original panna cotta. Panna cotta is an Italian chilled custard. How it's made with sweetened cream with gelatin and then chilled and molded. It's very sweet. There's actually some orange zest in there, and I can really taste in the panna cotta an orange marmalade flavor, and then with the tartness, a bit of the raspberry sauce, it kind of comes all together.
So we just finished having our dinner and we had a really great time, and the food was really good. So if you ever decide to come to Yaletown, Vancouver, come to L'Antipasto.
Well, also occurring during the Dine Out Vancouver Food Festival is the Hot Chocolate Festival. We are here at Bella Gelateria trying out their featured drinks for hot chocolate. What I got is called the Nine. It is the winner of the 2016 London Academy of Chocolate for a gold medal. So the Nine features plantation cocos from Venezuela, Trinidad, Jamaica, Grenada, Madagascar, and Ecuador, and one top secret bean location. So this has hints of fruity tones with hints of dark cocoa, and the dark chocolate also comes at 75%.
So what I got is Bella Gelateria's classic hot chocolate. It uses a unique blend of dark and milk chocolate and actually comes with gelato. So you can actually choose your flavor of gelato and then they put it inside in your hot chocolate.
So whether you like Japanese, Italian, or Northwest fare, there's always something to enjoy for everybody during the Dine Out Vancouver Food Festival. I'm Archie Rose Natividad.
And I'm Lou Aquino from the EBC Western Canada Bureau.
And we are one with 25.
We've reached the end of our program today. Thank you for watching another segment of Eagle News International. From the Western Canada Bureau, I'm Arnie Aquino. I am one with 25.